and welcome to the Just for Gamers video game podcast. Episode 158, Thought Thunder. In this week's episode, there's a game out this week.
At least a game.
JfG Ash remembers about frying pans.
Yeah!
JfG Alex goes back to the 40s.
Mercy!
There's news on Harry Potter.
You're a wizard.
And finally, let us know about games as a service.
Hello and welcome to the JfG podcast. This is episode 158. My name is Alex and I'm joined as ever by my very good friend Ash. Hey buddy, how you doing this week? You right?
Hey buddy, yeah, as always, I'm super excited on a Wednesday. It's podcast night. So, yeah, feeling good on a Wednesday, yeah. Sparkly thoughts. They give me the hope to go on. Desperately trying to think of the phrase that you said last week, like okie dokie, silly okie or something. Because I feel like
that thing you always say.
That thing I always say, yeah, every time. Yeah. Oh, mate, how are you? You all right? You good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I tell you what, I feel a bit chipper this week because my job role...
Keep it to yourself.
I know, right? My job role changed and I've actually had a fun week at work this week. Obviously, honeymoon period, new job role, ham roll, you know.
Ham roll, mate.
And yeah, like I've been coming home being like, wow, I don't hate my life that much.
Man, that sounds appealing to me.
Yeah, it's good. It feels good. I mean, it could all change and go drastically wrong, but you know, I'm scheduling meetings and stuff. I'm like really big balls now.
You're like, let's do lunch.
Yeah,
I can pencil you in on Tuesday.
I'm starting to use a calendar. I mean, fucking, the only calendar I've ever had is an Advent one, mate.
I'm really pleased, man. I'm so pleased that it's going well for you. That's fucking awesome.
You know, week and a bit in, or because
but no, even so, like that's all you can ask for, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it's just
because you know, I was ready to pretty much kill myself at that job. It was ace.
Indeed, buddy, that can happen.
It's always fun at work. Yeah,
indeed.
I'll tell you what,
beautiful.
This week, fucking sleepy week. I'm so tired. And then evening, I just don't want to do anything.
All the meetings, buddy, and the brainstorming sessions.
Can't say brainstorming now. It's Thought Thunder. I'm going for that.
Brainstorming, yeah.
Yeah, it's what is the term? I can't remember. It's something fucking. I like Thought Thunder.
I like that. Yeah, we got a title for the show.
There we go, Thought Thunder. Nailed it.
It's got a beautiful bit of alliteration as well, buddy. Obviously, I really appreciate that.
With the makes sense.
It does. Yeah. That's what's going on there.
So yeah, like a couple of evenings this week, I've come home, get the kids to bed. It's like 8:30. I've finished my dinner, and I'm like, I can't be arsed. I just watch whatever the missus is watching. Something, I think it was called The Resident or Residents or I don't know. It had Logan from Gilmore Girls in, and and he's like this doctor,
right?
And like he doesn't give a shit. You know, he's cock of the walk, but he's an intern, yeah? And just gripping, compelling, some could say rich. And I just sat there and my eyes just glazed over and I was like, this feels good. I was just monging out. I was like, ugh. So, unfortunately, there's not a lot of games being played this week for me. Have got a new one, though. Won the game.
Won the game?
Won the game of buying game. Actually, my son won the game of buying games.
I've won the game as well this week, buddy. But what have you bought?
I mean, I'm guessing yours is going to be better than mine because mine's for an 8-year-old and also a 4-year-old. So I picked up Season 1 and Season 2 of Minecraft Story Mode, like you do.
Okay.
I love Telltale games. They're the best.
They're very now.
They're so hip and in. Apparently, season 2 hasn't even finished. So I've got that to look forward to. A couple more episodes.
I tell you what, buddy.
Yeah?
I do feel sorry for Telltale to some degree, because who would have thought that doing fuck all to your game engine for 10 years would eventually result in people losing interest in your products?
Oh, well, I'm watching...
There's no way of knowing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, who'd have thought it? I mean, obviously, playing these games is just like watching TV, really. So my son's picking all the answers, and like my daughter's there getting involved with it. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, cool, I'm just watching a Minecraft episode, and I'm like, wow, it's amazing how Telltale Games have made the Minecraft story mode look worse than Minecraft. They've done a good job there. It's impressive.
It's impressive stuff.
So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So I won't be talking about that later.
Oh, fair play.
But, that was literally the only point that I wanted to put across, that it looks worse than the actual game Minecraft.
I mean, I suppose that's impressive.
Oh, mate, the fucking voice acting, and it's so bad. Like, and they've got like decent actors doing it. It's just
I was gonna say,
don't give a shit. It's like they're just whimsy. It's that kind of thing. And I'm like,
man.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it might be decent because it's like Patton Oswalt, isn't it?
Yeah.
He tends to be decent in.
He's okay, but it's just a bit like the characters don't bounce off each other or anything. Like, I'll probably put it down to the script, being absolute balls. But then again, Minecraft game.
Yeah, but it's called story mode. Like, it's kind of the story. If you're going to remove all of the creative elements of Minecraft in favour of a story, then it should probably be a well-crafted one.
You still have to make some things. Had to make a fishing rod.
Wow.
I know. Amazing. Groundbreaking stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, Minecraft story mode, mate. Season 2 still on its way out. I'm looking forward to probably never playing that game. It's cool. Yeah.
Nice.
I've been doing some arts and crafts this week, buddy. We went to some sort of, what's it called? Village hall, I'd say.
Okay.
And there was an arts and craft thing going on, and we made Easter hats. That's a thing, I've raised this issue before in the podcast. What's an Easter bonnet? I got no idea, but it's a thing, and that's what they make up here. It's weird.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
Well, I don't get it. Why? Easter's for eggs. It's in the name. Easter eggs.
What is the bonnet? It's upsetting.
I don't
frankly.
know. Maybe. Anyway, yeah. Cut the grass as well. That was nice. I had the one bit of sunshine over the weekend, so I thought, better cut the grass. So I did.
There you go. Yeah, you have had a week, haven't you? Fucking hell.
I told you, mate. Like, fuck all has happened this week. And I went into town and picked up my new walking boots. They're lovely. They fit my feet a little bit bigger. Get that airflow in there. Keep my toes nice and warm. Looking forward to doing some walking. I was looking,
rambling, man. There he is.
We're going up to Scarborough, beginning of August for a week or so. And I was looking at glamping, the old glamour camping.
Oh yeah,
maybe stay in a teepee. I was like,
yep.
Fucking, but be good with that teepee. Some walking boots.
Put some walking boots in there and your wind cheater.
Exactly. I'm well set, mate.
Hiking across the mountains.
I like
the sound of this.
I was kind of sitting there on the internet, had a thought thunder, and was like, hey.
Yep.
Glamping, walking boots, seaside. Yes.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't
know what's going on with you, but like this
not
quest
a lot,
for self there's no room for this quest of yours for self-improvement in this podcast, buddy.
I'm terribly
absolutely
sorry.
Disgraceful behaviour.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. Everyone's absolutely like. It's abhorrent, is what it is.
I'm not excited about gaming at all at the moment, so I've got to try and get something together in my life.
There's nothing coming out, so
yeah. We'll get onto that later, though.
We certainly will. Yeah.
So there's my super interesting week. How about yours, buddy?
Well, other than that
Yes.
slight indigestion, I've been okay, buddy. We went to the pub quiz. I've done 2 pub quizzes since we last recorded.
Well played.
But we went to the famed pub quiz, the one that we went to before and just wasn't on.
Yeah.
And we won that fucking pub quiz, buddy.
Yeah, you did, buddy.
Yeah, we did. We came first. We won, like, I don't know, 50 quid, something like that. Basically
50
paid for the
bazza?
evening. Yeah.
Half a ton.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That'll pay for some
Not bad
drinks.
at all. It certainly did. It paid for most of the drinks we'd had doing the pub quiz, buddy. So, when the evening pays for itself, then you
why
can't
isn't
really
there
grumble.
a pub quiz every time you go out then, really? That's what you're asking
Yes.
yourself now.
That's the thing. Yeah, it was good fun. It was fun. So we did that. Game night was decent, fairly low key, but pretty decent. And then Saturday pub times with friend of the podcast Paul. Went to see the old Manchester derby. What a fucking game that was!
That's crazy.
Jesus,
I thought it was all over.
it was so good.
And
It
then
was
bam.
just really
Go, go, go.
Yeah, we were convinced it was all over long before it was all over. And it was a very, very good game. It's been good for football recently. Really
Football
good.
has been good. I've been enjoying it.
But yeah, got accidentally pissed up. Not that accidentally. We were
Oh
standing in a
no,
pub.
I've been drinking all day. What could
What's
have happened?
here? Understand this. I could never have expected this to happen. Yeah, so that happened. Then went to Pizza Express for Tucker, buddy. Sunday fun day with friend of the podcast Paul and friend of the podcast Tom. It's becoming kind of a thing now where we piss away every Sunday we have by just going out as a 4, getting shit-faced, having a roast somewhere, that sort of thing.
That sounds good to me. I mean, I'd mainly do that with my kids, but obviously they're not drinking. Just me.
No, not yet, but maybe a
Not
couple
yet.
of years.
Yeah. I mean, technically, yeah, 10 years. My son will be legally allowed to drink in this country.
There you go. Go get shit-faced.
If I go abroad, isn't it like 16 in Spain or something? Or
I
is
think
that
it
a
used
lie?
to be. Don't know if it still is.
I just remember it being very lax over there back in the day.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't care. They don't have
Not
rules.
bothered.
Regulations.
interested.
What are these?
They don't need them because the people there are sensible.
That's true. Sensible
Yeah.
Spanish. That's what they call them.
That's it. Yeah, well known for it, actually. It's the first thing you think of when someone says Spain.
Spain. Sensible.
Sensible. So yeah, that was fun. A nice old roast, bit of a pub crawl. Went to do another pub quiz, buddy. It was much harder pub quiz. Some like cheeky, snooty pub up on the hill.
No.
We were like the youngest team there.
Obviously.
We still managed to come 6th, buddy, out of like 14, so that's not
Ooh.
too bad.
Not bad.
Yeah,
That'll
so
do.
yeah, brushing away there.
I'll take
and
it.
then that's basically all I've done. I continue to work each day, and then it's the next day and I do that again.
But from Saturday and Sunday, and then you're like, fuck you, work. Woo!
Yeah, it's good to go out and get really shit-faced on a Sunday so you feel super awful on a Monday because you can
Yeah.
have a shit time anyway, buddy.
I've been
you might
there,
as well...
I
You might as
understand
well
it.
really stick the boot in there. So
This
yeah,
day
pretty
is
important.
written off.
Exactly.
Fuck it.
And yeah, that's basically me. I'm not going to be on for game night this week because
What?
I'm off to friend of the podcast Mark's for the evening.
Oh,
That's going to be fun.
not sure
and
about
fuck
this.
you.
well,
So there
Fine.
you go, buddy. Probably only remains for me to ask exactly what you're drinking this evening, buddy. I'd like to know. I'd very much like to
it's
know.
still quite obvious that I'm on the hop house. But during the week, I did venture out, and I bought a couple of Brewdog, the Kingpin, is it? The Pilsner that they do? And that was quite nice because Tesco were having the classic, reduced to clear, and they were like 80p each. I was like, yoink! Thank you very much.
That is tasty.
I mean, I'm still enjoying it, but 3 crates in, kind of fancied a change for an evening.
Yeah, that's kind of understandable after that many bottles of the same sauce, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going good. What about you, buddy? Cause Stella?
It's Stella.
Yeah,
It's Stella. I'm on the pinters of Stella.
Getting the job done.
It does the job.
That's what it's there for.
That's what it's for.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, no
What
messing
else can
about.
you say?
Well,
Fuck all, evidently. The topic this week is video games, of course, buddy, and we should probably go and talk about some of those.
Sure.
So do you want to kick things off, buddy? How you been getting on? I suppose really what I really want to know is whether you've continued to witch.
I think we're going to be in for another 6 months of witching talk. After your 6 months of talking about it, we might as well do a full year between us. So yeah, I've been doing some witching in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, buddy.
How are you getting on?
Slowly but steady. I've progressed out of White Orchard. I've done a couple of missions there. I've met some guy that I bowed to him, but apparently I shouldn't because I'm a witcher. I'm like, cool. Put on some fancy robes or whatever, not robes, whatever. I just looked fancy. Some silk, maybe. Who knows? And then got on my horse. Off I went somewhere. Then did a side quest to... spoiler, go into the woods and find some woman, and she got eaten by a werewolf, mate.
Oh shit!
Right, so obviously had to find this werewolf, fuck him up.
Yep,
that was fucking hard.
Yeah,
I was like a level 4 peeny nothing. I was pretty shit. Had to do some googling, obviously, to find out how to get the strats down, because literally you got the health bar at the top, you knock off 2/3 of his health, and then he just regens constantly forever. And I'm
so annoying.
What is this? How? And I was like, what do I have to do? And it's literally just stun him and beat fuck out of him, and that's it. Yep. So
just got to stop him from regenning. And
took a while, but I got it done. After about 10 goes, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was like, I'll go and do another side quest. And I was like, no, I got to do this. And then a couple more times failed. I was like, if I stop here, I'm never coming back. So I had to power through, the score. So yeah, fucked him up. Fucked him up good, buddy. And then there was a bit where there was a cutscene halfway through it, after fucking him up so much. And there's the option of like killing her or killing the werewolf. I chose to kill the werewolf, and then he killed me. And I'm like, oh cool, I've got to do the whole thing again. Fucking sweet.
Yes. A very similar thing happened to me, buddy. Very similar indeed.
It was good, but I'm glad I've got it done. Got that done. Oh, mate.
It's kind of the nature of the way that they've got the world laid out, in that you can kind of accidentally stumble into situations that you really aren't like leveled for.
Yeah. Oh. But it said I'm sure the side quest was like only like 7. I think I was 4. I was like, I can handle myself here. I've played video games before. I know what I'm doing,
As a word of warning, when you come across a mission that's like Jenny of the Woods,
Jenny of the Woods,
don't fucking do it. Like, forget it till like the end of the game, because it's really annoying, and I was stuck on it for ages, and it's just the level, it says it's like a level 10 mission. I swear I went back and did it when I was like a 19, and I was still struggling a little bit with it.
Okay, so. I'll keep that in mind. I'll probably forget though. Something about the woods, got you.
Jenny of the Woods, stick clear of that.
I do have a few issues with the movement and the horse.
For it.
But that's it. I just got some issues with it. It could be a bit more fluid, like your Assassin's Creeds and things, where it's a bit nice and tasty. But yeah, I can look past it though.
When you're trying to pick stuff up and that, sometimes you end up doing like little laps of rooms,
and you're like
trying to
moving back and forth, jerking about, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, okay, that's fine. But yeah, Witcher 3, mate.
The horse stuff's dodgy, obviously.
Yeah,
but,
I feel like you should be able to dismantle that horse just by I don't know, a lot quicker anyway, just jumping straight off it instead of having to hold the button down.
Yeah,
there should have been a better way of doing that. But anyway, yeah, that game's well old and still really good.
Fucking great, isn't it? Very, very cool.
Gibbons.
So glad that you're like getting the mileage out of it now. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's my go-to single-player game at the moment. I've installed Mad Max though, so that might take some time away from it. I went back and played A Way Out again, buddy. Or only the first, 2.5, 3 hours of it, I'd say. I was playing it with old John Boy, legend that he is.
Oh, of course, because no one else actually needs the game for you to play with them,
because obviously we've bought it. Yeah, anyone can join in now, which is kind of cool. And so it is tough going through that game a second time. Not gonna lie. I mean, you've experienced it twice, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, I've got to the sort of fishing section with the missus, but she really did like. She's probably like more annoyed than I was at it.
Oh, really?
The dialogue and everything just spoiling it to the point where she's basically not been asked to continue playing, and I haven't bothered.
You haven't provoked it, yeah.
No, I'm not interested. I'm quite happy to, yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much when we started off, I was like, treat this as like an experience kind of thing. It's not a AAA game, you know that. We've spoken about that, and yeah, it's a bit of a hot mess, and like playing it through a second time, I'm like, this doesn't feel very nice.
No, it doesn't.
At all,
the dialogue's so awful the second time through.
Yeah, like because you know what horribleness is coming at you. It's just like, oh no, I'm good, thanks. But yeah, I don't know. We might go back and carry on with it, but we'll see. See what happens with it. Yeah. So yeah, a way out, mate. Good for a playthrough.
Good for one playthrough, especially if you are playing with a friend who you can split the cost of the game with, because you only need to buy one copy. There's lots of good things about it. It's just from that developer and with the budget of EA behind him, and basically them at his beck and call, where essentially it sounds as though they would have basically done anything that he'd asked. For it to then come out and be mediocre is incredibly disappointing, probably more so. That's the thing for me. That's a bit of a shame, really. And so many of the issues with it could have been solved very, very easily, possibly by popping the ego to one side, for example. But there we go, buddy. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you been up to then? What you been playing? I see. There's a game on here that I don't think you've spoken about before.
No, so I was in town on Sunday, and I was having a little look around in CEX, the only remaining game shop in the UK, and they had a copy of LA Noire for £14.50, buddy. The PS4 remaster.
Oh God! Okay, the PS4 remaster. I was thinking £14 or 15 quid for a 360 game. This guy is fucking having a laugh.
No, this is the PS4 remaster. And I've wanted to get stuck into this for ages, to be honest. I kind of missed the boat when it came out on 360. I played a little bit of it, but I was just borrowing it from a friend, and it was towards the end of term when I was at uni and never got the chance to like sit down and get stuck in. So I'm probably 2 hours in to this game, a little bit longer maybe. And I really like it. And I love loads of the things that it's doing. There are a few things that I don't think it's doing as well as I was expecting it to. So, firstly, the world building is absolutely out of this world. You would probably expect that from Rockstar. It's just very, very nice. The art direction's lovely.
Totally.
The way that they get that sort of 40s sort of LA going is pretty special, I would say. It kind of has a mood to it, this game, that I don't know that any other game I've played actually had. It's kind of what I suppose Max Payne was trying to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that eeriness kind of feeling.
Yeah,
I'm
sort
guessing.
of. Yeah, I mean, the thing that comes across really well, and this is something that must have been true of the time, is for a big built-up city, it feels quite open, as in, it feels like everything's quite spaced out, there's a lot of room, it hasn't got that sort of metropolis kind of, everyone's packed in on each other, and that's because it's the 40s, and there's not that many buildings yet, so it just feels really sort of, yeah, I don't know, just free and easy and open. But the thing that's kind of, I mean, obviously, there's every chance that this will change. I don't know how far you got through this game.
Oh, I finished it and all the DLC as well.
Right,
I proper went to town when because I think I bought whatever fucking deluxe edition it was when it was on sale on the 360. I'm pretty sure I got that digitally on the 360, from what I remember.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying before. I mean, this has got all of the content, so I'll be able to get stuck into all of that shit. But yeah, is it linear throughout? I mean, obviously it isn't linear, but are they all episodic?
Yeah.
Is it all episodic content for the whole game? Like, there's no... Because that's what's kind of surprised me, really, is you sort a case and then you go into a cutscene and then you get to the next one, and it's all kind of done episodically, almost like TV episodes.
Obviously there's bits where you're out in the open world and driving around and stuff.
Yeah, but everything's always bookended, like either side by your sort of introduction and your case solved and then your outro. Is that right?
I believe so. I can't remember, to be honest, mate.
I'm just surprised by that.
I can vaguely remember like sections of that game that I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
looking at dead people.
I really like it. I really like the way that you search for clues and stuff. I'm not entirely convinced by the fact that if you like fail it, you just go round again. That's kind of weird how the immersion's broken there. I think it would have been better if they'd made it in a way where if you got the wrong answer, then it steered you back on course, but you lost points or clues or whatever in the process. But, you know, my first interrogation, I picked the wrong thing, and then I go out of the room and the chief's like, get back in there and get me a confession. And then when I go back in there, the dude, it resets. As the dude says the same lines and I say the same lines. So it's a little bit of a strange design choice, that, if you ask me.
I found it tough, like, doing, because it's all meant to be like the facial recognition stuff, and you're meant to read the characters. I was like, nah, that's bollocks, mate. I can't read no one. Maybe that's just
hard.
me. It is hard. It's not like on what was it? Was it Oblivion, where you had like the 4 choices and like you span over, like you moved over each one and their face would change, like happy, angry, sad, or whatever. That was really nice. I enjoyed that. I kind of missed that from like the Elder Scrolls games. That was funny. But yeah,
that was
also
good, actually.
Massively retarded.
Yeah, it's like super dumb, but in a sort of fun way.
Yeah, it was well good.
Yeah. So yeah, it surprised me in that way. The controls are all nice enough, like it just feels like sort of GTA. The running obviously a little bit slower and stuff, but then you would kind of expect that. Nothing wrong with the driving. The thing that's probably the most disappointing in my opening sort of couple of hours is that the dialogue is well written and pretty well acted, but I don't think it's kind of been put together very well. There's a lot of sort of slight pauses. I don't know, it just doesn't feel very natural. It doesn't feel very organic. Like, the missus immediately, like, clocked this. She was like, it just isn't flowing right. And I kind of completely agree. So, yeah, it's not that it's written badly or performed badly, but it just seems like the way that they've crowbarred that into the game, there's just something off there. I'm not sure quite what it is. Some characters better than others, but the performances are all decent. It's just, a bit weird. But yeah, quite funny the way that they have these facial expressions, and you can just stare at them for ages, and they'll be like, why are you just looking at me? They'll actually say it. Like, why are you looking at me? What? So yeah, I like it. I really like it. It's cool to have like a detective yarn to get into. It's a good one to play with the missus as well. And I can see myself going all the way to the end on this, especially considering the fact there's nothing fucking out at the moment.
I know, right? The new sale on the PlayStation Store went live today. I was desperately looking through it to find something.
There's anything there,
I've got to get something. I was like, nah, there's fuck all there that I want to buy. We've already got it.
Yeah, even the VR, like, there's hardly any decent VR games in the sale. It's a real shame, because there's a few VR titles I'd like to get my hands on, but I expect you to die.
Talking about VR, buddy, have you played any this week?
I certainly have, buddy. I've been playing the racing games this week.
Oh, yeah?
So GT Sports had a new update, and part of that update is putting a mode in there that should have been in the fucking first place, which is... there's that VR mode where you have to race against a single AI
Yeah, one character. Oh, yeah, one AI. Yeah.
Yeah. They've put time trial mode in there now.
Oh, so they've taken out the AI and just
no, you
put
can
a
still
timer.
do that.
No, I know, but for this new game mode, they've just taken out the AI.
Yes, which is what basically everyone would have wanted in the first place, because no fucker wants to just race one AI.
Today. Bronze AI. Gets me every time.
Weird decision. So,
Nice.
they've got full time trial mode. They've added a couple of new tracks and about 20 new cars as well. Really good at supporting this game, Polyphony. But, so they've got the Sabuka track on there now, which is kind of an old GT classic. A proper time trial mode, VR specific with leaderboards and so on and so forth. Basically what should have been there when the VR mode launched. Anyway, so I thought I had that downloaded. It turned out that I only had like half of it, and I had to wait half an hour for the rest of it to download. And so in the meantime, I had the wheel out all ready to go. I was like, fucking okay. So I fired up Dirt Rally VR, and it's just the best. I've said before, but it's just the fucking best. I do seem to have become accustomed to the VR stuff now. I'm no longer like feeling ill. I still feel it in my stomach when I'm going up and down hills and that sort of thing, but it's no longer sort of discomfort there anymore, so that's quite nice. But yeah, this game is just so good in VR. It is absolutely brilliant and brutal as well, but it's much easier, I find, because you're in the right spot for it in terms of your viewpoint. You just feel like you're driving a real car, and I find that I can gauge the stopping distances so much better. I put in a couple of laps, a couple of runs rather, of a couple of the Welsh stages, which are kind of my favourite ones. They've got a really good mix of like mud, dirt and gravel. I was quicker. I was actually quicker in the B-class rally cars, the 2000s. I'm quicker in VR than out of VR, which is surprising, I would say.
I don't know. Immersion, just saying.
Yeah.
In the moment.
Yeah, but I would kind of expect that to be distracting. Obviously the resolution, it takes a massive dive when you're playing it in VR as well. I did notice on the German stages where they've got some very long straights, there's actual genuine like pop-in, like proper pop-in.
Nice.
The draw distance just isn't there. It's not really a problem for the most part, because it's a rally game and it's all windy and shrubs and bushes and trees. But I was just thought that was a bit weird that I was quicker, but I guess it's just the fact that you're sitting in that viewpoint, you can see all the apexes really well. It just works for me. But it's absolutely fantastic experience. And played GT Sport afterwards, and it was kind of half underwhelming in comparison because of how good the rally is.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah, man. So that's me. That's all I've really played, other than loads of pairs. I just keep firing up pairs, playing it all the fucking time. Certainly not going to talk about that. So I think we should probably move on, buddy.
Cool.
And now it's time for the news. Number one.
Number Wang.
Firewatch has been announced for the Nintendo Switch. This is a brilliant game from Campo Santo, and I think that you should buy it if you haven't played it.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't played it, get it, because it's a great game. In fact,
it's fucking cool. I'm kind of hoping that they're working on a second one at this point, really, but
they're working on that other game, Gods and Egypt, aren't they?
Oh, that's right, yeah. I'd like them to do a sequel to Firewatch, but I suppose that could spoil things.
Yeah.
I mean, where would you go as well?
I don't know. Because of that ending, it's like, yep, that's the end. And he goes off and he's like, oh, okay, I'm done with that. That's... he's been reflecting on his life and how things have changed, and I don't know. I don't know what you could do from there. Well, you could do fucking anything if you want. Becomes an astronaut, goes into space.
But perhaps you shouldn't.
Yeah, I'd leave that where it is.
Yeah, I
would say. But yeah, cool.
Yeah. That's there's no firm release date on that. The studio just says soon. They've been working on it for some time.
Yeah.
What I will say is when that game originally came out on PS4, it ran like arse. So just, I mean, they fixed it.
They did fix it.
It ran much better after a patch came out about, I don't know. It was a good old while, though.
Yeah, it was a while until a patch came out. And then they added all the audio commentary and stuff to it, and I played it through it again with that, and it was really cool.
Yeah, it's a great game. So, should be good. It's a good Switch game as well. Conducive to that whole handheld setup. So that's cool. Number 2, there is news on this mobile game, Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery.
Wow, mobile games, this is where we've got to.
I wouldn't normally mention mobile games, but this is a Harry Potter game.
Harry Potter, obviously. Wizardly. And also, the news is that they've managed to somehow coax a lot of the voice cast into providing original voice work for this game, including Maggie Smith, Michael Gambon, Warwick Davis. That's quite a coup, I would say. Especially seeing as Alan Rickman.
No, he's dead, buddy. Oh. So they have not got the ghost of Alan Rickman. But nevertheless, despite that overwhelming disappointment, it's quite a coup for the developer. This is a developer called Jam City. And I was looking at the website today. All they've ever made is kind of, mobile clones, I suppose.
Nice.
Knockoffs.
Love
what
it.
am I allowed to say? I mean, they've made games like Sugar Smash, for example.
Sugar, my favourite.
Yeah, I don't know if that perhaps reminds you of any other mobile games, Sugar Smash, but there we are, buddy. It's a tricky
I don't know
one.
That.
Yeah, not sure. Either way, this is comfortably the biggest project they've ever worked on. The production values are extremely high for a mobile and tablet game. Obviously, the budget must be there with that cast as well. They've got the Harry Potter license. That can't have been cheap.
And like an RPG as well, or something.
It is an RPG. You go to Hogwarts as a student. You make your kid or whatever, and there's going to be story missions with sort of younger versions of a lot of the characters from the movies, like Tonks and Bill, like those sort of characters from the Deathly Hallows and that sort of thing. I know far too much about Harry Potter now, buddy.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Coming to realise, I still haven't read any of the books, nor will I.
I've listened to one of them so far. Getting there.
There you go. Is it Stephen Fry, the audiobook?
Yeah, it is. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that's worth it anyway, then, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. I need to maybe do that. Anyway, this could be huge, this game, with the kiddies. Sort of Pokemon Go huge, if they get it right. Whether they do or not, I've no idea. But yeah, it's a Potter franchise with full license. It's like an RPG. Big thing for a mobile game, and we will keep an eye on it and see how it goes.
Gibbons. I love it.
On to the first example of why there are no games coming out at the moment, buddy. This is news that Spyro Remastered Trilogy has been announced. This is Spyro the Dragon, of course, buddy. 1, 2, and 3.
This is just what I want.
Yeah.
Just what I want. Yeah.
I thought those games weren't very good at the time.
I vaguely remember playing... I think the first one and being like, this is a bit shit.
It's just your sort of... I mean, like 3D platformers of that era were inherently bad. Yeah, Croc and Gex.
Yeah, Gex, yeah. I remember. Yeah,
Croc was certainly a better game than Spyro, I would say. That might be a controversial opinion, I don't know. But
then obviously you got all your Banjo-Kazooies and your Conkers and stuff, but, they're a bit different. They weren't your standard platformer.
Gibbons. Yeah, well,
no, Spyro, give a fuck, mate.
I mean, it'll sell like Crash Bandicoot sold. Probably the reason it was being made is because Crash Bandicoot did so well.
I think the only reason, like, No, I can't really say that. Like, a lot of the reason is, people our age played that game when they were young, and then they've got kids now, and they'll be like, yeah, come on, kids, we'll play a game that I played.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of your dad playing his record collection from the 60s kind of thing.
Yeah, but on a CD now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, buddy.
Fully remastered CD version.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Spyro.
Well, I guess it was going to happen with games, wouldn't it? It's happened with fucking films and music.
It's true.
Remastering everything to the fucking hills and selling it over and over again.
Yeah, I think when they remade Ben-Hur, I was kind of thinking this might be the end for all of us.
I hoped. I hoped.
Here we go. Spyro, there you are. What a load of bollocks. Let's just end it all. We'll move on from remasters to Battle Royale clones, buddy. Boss Key has announced and immediately chucked out into early access Radical Heights.
Radical Heights! Yeah.
Bodacious!
Bodacious, indeed, buddy. Radical dude.
This is...
Oh, dear. Have you played any of this, or have you watched any game footage of this, or...
I've seen a short video where it looked a bit ropey.
Okay, I watched some Twitch. I was going to, literally yesterday, I was like, I'm going to go back and fucking install it and play it. But then before that, I watched some of it on Twitch and was like, I'm not going to do that now. Because this looks really bad.
This is an 80s-themed Battle Royale game. The announcement and early access release of this came just days.
Early access.
Yeah, just days after confirming, Boss Key confirming they'd no longer be working on optimizing or adding anything to Lawbreakers. They themselves describe it as janky. It's clearly mega rough. Graphically fucking awful, by the way. Primary colours. I mean, it kind of looks like someone's been let loose with paint on. Yeah,
I was going to say
paint.
And not even, you've got 8 base colours in paint. You haven't even got the colour wheel. It's just these are your base colours. Fucking go nuts. Do it.
It's weird. I haven't played it and I haven't watched enough of it to comment a great deal. But there is some key stuff that it does a little bit differently that might give it some potential going forward. Firstly, you play in a domed city, so rather than having the big circle, this dome is kind of grid-based, and portions of the grid slowly are blocked off to funnel players together. There's another game that does that as well recently, but I can't remember what that was called. So, sorry, buddies. But so
it doesn't. You don't drop in as well. It just randomly spawns you in the world.
Spawns you in. Which killing players and raiding shops earns you cash. The cash is persistent, so you have to pay it into ATMs to save it in your offshore bank account.
Which is kind of cool. So you can take it through to the next round, and then you can also use that in-game money to buy fucking outfits and stuff, which is kind of cool. Obviously, there are already some sort of microtransactions in there where you can spend money. I think it's
it's a free-to-play game, isn't it? So.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to chuck that in there to try and make some money. What did they say? It was made in 5 months or something like that? From
something like that. It's got, you have a BMX in it. It looks a super janky BMX. Like Tony Hawk 5 sort of janky.
Maybe worse.
But yeah, this whole thing, it kind of reminds me of Fortnite meets Goat Simulator in terms of the way that they're at with the jankiness and the physics engine at this moment in time. There's every chance that this could turn into something good. They're a very talented studio.
Yeah, if they can get people on board with it. I mean, everyone loves the 80s, Great idea. It's the whole, the fact that it's a game show kind of, gives it a twist as well. And the thing with this style of game is you get it out there and then you just keep adding to it, and as long as you're adding to it constantly and and just improving the game, which Fortnite has done since it came out, they've been supporting that and adding new things and Just making it a better, refined game. Not calling it a good game there, though. Yeah, it's just... It could work for them, but this whole Battle Royale scene is gonna... Well, it's already getting flooded already, and, you know, is there going to be much room for it later on in this year? Who knows? Because there was a thing that I'm going to talk about later, but I might as well do it now. And that's the guys making The Division. They're rumored to be making a Battle Royale game as well. So, fucking great. Battle Royale, mate. That's where it is.
I think that'd be my concern if I was Boss Key. They've just come off of a failed project in Lawbreakers where they, I guess, just didn't gauge the market properly and didn't know what game they wanted, but essentially came out with like a sort of an Overwatch type clone, but like a year after Overwatch came out and was successful.
Yeah,
and
was
now they've chucked, like they've basically shat out. I mean, in five months of development, I would call that shitting out a game rather than releasing one.
Yeah, because that game is so unfinished. It's incredible. If like you watch any of the, I mean, to be honest, like the main thing, like the gun mechanics and stuff, they look fine. Like the shooting looks good, but just everything else looks bad. But that's it. You know, if you get that gameplay in there, it's going to keep people coming back, like having fun, and then you can just refine the rest of it as long as you get that game mechanic there. And I think that's kind of where they might have gone a bit wrong with Lawbreakers, like the anti-gravity thing. Like, even though it sounded fucking amazing, it was like, wow, this is really interesting and cool. Like, maybe it was just like, this is just a bit too much for people. Like, you know, they couldn't take the extremes of it or something, maybe. I don't know. Unless, I don't know. I feel like Lawbreakers would have been better on a keyboard and mouse than controller, because obviously, you know, you can whip around a lot quicker and, you know, your movement's a lot better on keyboard and mouse. But even on PC, that game just didn't take off, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how they go with it. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be a weird Christmas on consoles, I think, because we'll basically, on PS4, I think we're going to be going from Fortnite being the only option for a Battle Royale game to probably 4 or 5 of them kicking about.
Which I think is kind of cool. I mean, it will give us a few options anyway.
Absolutely.
To look at and have a go at. And
I'm more than willing to give these a try, but I'm still not convinced that I actually give a fuck about it as a game mode. Like, I still don't feel... it feels like devolution to me, that we're going from cleverly curated level design to here's a big fucking map and a load of people, sort it out for yourselves. Yeah. It feels like devolution, not evolution to me, but... What do I fucking know?
The only thing that I can say that I enjoyed was like the adrenaline rush of like getting down to such a little number, and then it all just starts kicking in, and then I don't know, it gave me a feeling that I can't remember really having much previously in a lot of games, of that high intensity kind of just fucking on the edge of my seat kind of thing.
Yeah, man.
But then again, like, fucking, I never play competitive gaming. Like, where I never play competitive gaming. Like, where it's going to be like that. So, I don't know. Maybe it was just the fact that I was doing something competitive instead of doing, like, PvE or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Tricky one to gauge, but we're going to have no shortage of ways to find out whether we do or don't like that sort of Battle Royale experience as more and more of these clones are shut out. So there we go. Moving on, PS Plus members can now get 10% off of Spotify Premium, which is quite cool. To be eligible, you just need to subscribe to Spotify Premium through the PlayStation Store before the 18th of October. That's ages away. And you'll get 10% off of your membership. So, yeah, going for a little push on that by the looks of things, buddy.
That's not a bad deal, to be honest, is it?
Yeah, it's free money, I suppose.
Free money.
Free money.
Spending money.
By spending money. Also, Stardew Valley multiplayer. This is creator of Stardew Valley, Eric Concerned Ape Barone, buddy.
Obviously.
he tweeted last week saying that he's been working on it. He tweeted this week saying, if everything goes to plan, then Stardew Valley multiplayer should be, and I quote, ready in about a month. So it's all done and implemented. They've just been bug testing the shit out of it. I'd imagine that's quite a difficult thing to do on a game like Stardew Valley. But yeah, I've been waiting for that for ages. I've always liked the look of Stardew Valley, but I don't believe that I would be able to entertain myself enough solo.
No, I've kind of slumped off it. I played it the other week when I was away with the Switch and played it for a couple of hours, and I enjoyed my time in it, and I'm just like, this would be better with a friend.
Yeah, I think so. In the same way of like Kingdom for Keflings and Farming Simulator and all those sort of experiences, Minecraft even. Yeah. I think you could really enjoy that, and you could just pump loads of mindless hours into it and have a very relaxing time.
You ain't got to worry about nothing, mate. Obviously, your crops, though, you got to worry about them.
Oh yeah, you got to keep an eye on those crops, but you know we're a well-oiled farming machine at this point, buddy. So
we've been about on the old farming sims. We know the score.
Yeah, be lovely. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll let you know as soon as that comes out. You'll know because we'll be playing it. So there we are. Finally from me, buddy, news that Microsoft is adding what I would describe as a shit ton of backwards compatible Xbox original games. Or
nice.
Xbox One games, if you want to call them that, buddy. From the old Xbox, the original one. The one. So all of these are coming out in April. This isn't the full list. I've kind of curated it a little bit because I wasn't willing to read out like 100 games. But obviously, these are probably my picks from what they're releasing. So we've got The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, backwards compatible, Jade Empire, Panzer Dragoon Orta, SSX 3, Destroy All Humans, Full Spectrum Warrior, Mercenaries Playground of Destruction, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, Star Wars Jedi Starfighter, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. All of those are coming to Xbox backwards compatibility. All of those are original Xbox games. As before, all of those games will upscale to 4K. All games can be played from original Xbox discs if you have them too, or you can purchase them digitally on the store. The other news is that Red Dead Redemption, Portal 2 and Gears of War 2 now have official Xbox One X enhanced patches with the 4K up-resing, super textures and so on, loads of 4K options. To be honest, all of that, buddy, what I'm thinking is, so you could play Jedi Academy in 4K on the Xbox One X.
Yeah, you can.
How good is Jedi Academy, buddy?
Oh, it's a great game. I love it. I think I've still got it installed on my PC.
I've got it installed somewhere on my Mac. I was running it in VMware.
There you go. Happy times.
I love that shit. So good. So yeah, I mean, anything take your fancy there?
Oh, mate, just the fact that it's all there, just kind of makes me feel a bit sad that I don't have one. It's just having that option. It's like, yeah, if I want to go and get Morrowind or whatever, I can. I'll play it on this console, even though that game's fucking well old. Just don't worry about it. You've got it. You can do it. Like, nah, I think that's brilliant. Like, it's the way it should be. I buy a games console, I can play all of my games.
It's very, very cool. I'm still keeping an eye on the Xbox One, the price.
Yeah,
of it.
I've contemplated
the big
it
fat
a lot.
old one.
Yeah. I mean, I think at this point you're gonna be better off getting one of the slim ones, and they're roughly gonna be about the same price. I don't think those fat ones are really gonna drop down in price that much, like secondhand. I don't know why. For some reason, this generation of console is just not going down, like, in price in the second-hand market. It's crazy.
I know. It's so annoying because I would have expected that original model. That original one would be like 80 quid.
Yes. 70 quid.
And I would buy one.
Yeah, I would too, mate. I'll be there. But no, apparently not. Like, they're still like 130, 140 quid, which is insane.
It's got to come down. If it drops below a ton, I'll buy one.
Yeah, I know. One day, my friend.
It'll happen.
We'll fight them on the beaches.
If you've got one, then you've got some treats coming your way. Backwards compatibility, buddy. Maybe we should just use backwards compatibility to play old games and let the games developers focus on new fucking experiences.
Yeah, imagine that.
Maybe that would be nice.
That'd be cool if we could just play their games anyway. Then we wouldn't need these remasters.
Gibbons.
And plus, they would run really well on this new hardware.
They would. Yeah,
you can get 60 frames out of that easy. No?
Yeah, just unlock the frame cap and you're away.
Woo!
Beautiful thing. So yeah, that's my news, buddy. I think it's probably time for me to hand over to you for my favourite section, and I'm sure the listeners as well. And
Obviously.
Of course, that is Ash's News Favourite Things of the Week.
If you like news but hate information, you have found the right place. Ash's News Favourite Thing of the Week.
Cheers, buddy. Not a lot once again. I've already spoken about the Division and their fucking Battle Royale antics, apparently, that they're going to be doing. But we're going to go to South Korea. Come with on a journey through time and space. The land of South Korea, where South Korea fine game companies close to $1 million over loot crates. Have you heard about this? Yeah?
No.
I know, right? Well, they've been fining various South Korean games companies for having these loot boxes and, not putting up the percentages or ratios of when these things will drop.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so they've been taken to the cleaners, my son. Where does it say? For one example, for instance, Nexon, which is one of the game companies, stated that some items would be giving out at random, while the actual odds of earning said item was closer to 0.5%.
That's terrible.
Which is, it's not really at random, because there's a percentage there.
Exactly, yeah. Swindlers.
Yeah, so that was
shenanigans.
Exactly, buddy. Yeah. Those three main companies that got hit pretty hard from this. But yeah, loot boxes are bad. Known fact. Anyway.
Agreed.
Last, buddy. Unfortunately, but not really. Unfortunately, because this is kind of cool. Splinter Cell, obviously getting its second year of DLC for free, which is nice. Obviously, you can throw them some money and get some items or whatever you want, whatever it is.
Oh, what, the Wild Pants thing?
The Wild Pants, yeah. First thing that they're bringing out is a mission where you work with Sam Fisher, old Splinter Cell, mate. He's in the game.
Who's voicing that Sam Fisher?
Who is
buddy?
voicing that, buddy? That's the big question. Because Splinter Cell, old Sam Fisher, it wasn't Michael Ironside last time. Who's it this time, though, buddy?
This time, buddy, it's Michael Ironside.
Get in. I want to play this mission just because of that.
It's made me realise how much I like that IP.
Yeah. I mean, I love
those Splinter Cell games.
It was fucking amazing. It was so good. Crabtown. It was awesome. Just, you got to crab about like a crab. Just,
maybe we should get some Xbox Ones, buddies, and then we could play some Chaos Theory backwards compatible.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Double agent.
One day, maybe. Oh, but yeah, I mean, we booted up the co-op mode on Recon. The normal mode, what was it, the other week, wasn't it? And fucking hell, that was horrible.
It was bad. Yeah, it didn't last long.
Go down. No, it didn't. It didn't. But then again, we hadn't played that game in that mode for so long, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" So
it just felt so pointless because the AI is so atrociously poor. You're so used to playing Ghost War where it's tense and you're playing against competent individuals.
It's not. It isn't stealthy at all. It's the complete opposite of what the ghosts should be. Which is annoying. But yeah, Michael Ironside's in Ghost Recon. Wildlands. Cool. There you go, mate. I'm definitely going to be playing that. With
such a ledge.
Hopefully with you, though, buddy.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so that's about it, buddy. For me, nothing else on the agenda. There's been a little bit of news about the hacking on the Switch recently.
Oh yeah.
one of the main people they found a big old issue with the Switch, and it's not firmware related, it's hardware related. It's to do with is it the Tegra 1 chip that's in there? I think it's the 1, not 2.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. And apparently there's a massive issue that's quite easily making it that any kind of device that has a Tegra 1 in is at risk of being hacked the fuck out of. And the person that found this has said, I've alerted all of like NVIDIA and everyone about this.
Because it's the Shield, isn't it? Things
like that, chip. So they've alerted all the people that deal with that shit, and then they're waiting, like they're giving them a grace period to try and sort something out or like fix it for future consoles that come out and things. So they're giving them a grace period, and I think they're going to be releasing all the info like summertime. So expect all kinds of Switch hackerying this summer, I would say.
This might be a bit of a sweeping statement, but it seems to me that for the most part, hackers are weirdly moral, considering what they're doing.
It's not. Well, and that's the thing. Like, the person that like found this has got morals, because the people that came out earlier this year saying, we've got a mod chip that's coming out whenever. Team Execute, I think they're called. Yeah. They have no morals. They're just in it to make money. Like, literally, like, they found a way to pirate games. They're putting this mod chip out, and they're charging people for it, where this person has found the hack. They've alerted the right people, and they're giving them a grace period, and then they're just going to release it for free.
Very cool.
That's
how you get a job at Nintendo. That sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That is a way around it, isn't it? That does seem quite. But they came out and had like a big old question and answer sheet, and it was really cool actually reading through it. It was interesting stuff. So
nice.
Homebrew's on the way, buddy. I'm looking forward to that shit.
Yeah, lovely.
Very
cool.
SNES emulators on there. That'd be fucking sweet.
The Super SNES.
Super SNES, yeah. Super duper SNES.
Gibbons.
There you go. That wasn't actually going to go in, but it fucking did. That's how I roll.
I'm glad it's enriched the news section, buddy, and thank you so much for that. That was your news. Before that, it was my news. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the news. And now it's time for Out This Week.
And that's out this week. I know there is a game that's coming out this week that I'm actually quite excited about, but could be incredibly disappointed about. Who knows?
Tricky one.
It is.
Do we pick it up because we are desperate to pick something up? Or do we pick it up because...
we wait for the reviews.
Fair play.
See what happens.
We will get to that. But first, we've got Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, coming out on PS4.
Still haven't played that demo I downloaded.
No.
Could be the full game. Who knows?
These games seem to come out every 3 weeks, these Yakuza games.
I know, right? They're just fucking shitting them out right now.
Yeah. Well, this game, so that's out this week. We've also got the Total War Saga, Thrones of Britannia. Total War March is on.
Yep.
There we are. You know what that is. Real-time strategy game. There you are. We Happy Few launches this week on the PS4. This was in early access. This came out free to play. This has been something of a mess. And at this point, who knows, frankly. That is coming out proper this week. But, I mean, they took a publisher after kickstarting the game. A lot of people not especially happy.
I wouldn't be.
No, sort of...
What's that all about?
We're in indie. No, we're not.
Yeah.
You can't get your money back.
This game looks like it could be good, but it's not. Yay.
Yeah. Buyer beware there, buddies, anyway. I'm looking forward to the reviews on that one, because I think there's a lot of reasons to stick the boot in. So if that thing's not very good, then I think the reviews could get quite spicy on We Happy Few. But we shall see throughout the course of the week. Also out this week, we have God of War on the PS4. They've been ramping up the adverts, buddy, with Christopher Judge, a.k.a. Tilk, going again.
Oh, God.
So that's been happening quite a lot. This is a game that looks amazing graphically, and that also has possible tonal issues based on the original E3 reveal versus what people consider God of War to be.
Yes, definitely.
For those reasons, I'm excited, but also there's some trepidation because I'm not really sure. So, yeah. What do you reckon? I mean, have you seen much gameplay footage of it at this point, buddy?
I've watched a bit. Was it Jim Sterling did that fucking weird video where he was just talking over the footage of another? I don't know. It was very strange. But I was like, yeah, he's on the hype train. Cool. Great. This is what video games are all about, I guess. Might as well get on board. Yeah. Woo. God of War. I don't know. Like in the video, he goes on and says how like they've taken a more traditional route, like with the third person camera over the shoulder kind of thing. And yeah, I think that for me personally, that benefits to compared to what the previous God of War games were, like the old swoopy camera from up above and things. I never really kind of got on board with that kind of thing.
Well, it sort of strikes me almost as like Babby's first slasher. You know, it's kind of which would suit me because I'm not really used to playing hack and slash games. So if it is a sort of refined kind of version of that sort of game, then it will probably suit us. It's just whether, I mean, God of War satisfying, I suppose, but I've always kind of wondered how satisfying it can be to just mash a button. I'm sure there's lots of tactics in there, and I'm sure I'm probably just talking utter shit, but I've never been a huge fan of hack and slash games for the reason that a lot of them just rely on button mashing, which I don't necessarily
It's like
find
a
that
QTE
fun.
without the button prompts.
Exactly. So yeah, no, really intrigued by this. I'm kind of a bit hyped for it in that it's the first game to come out probably all year where I've been like, this is really
actually
exciting.
Anticipating it, you know, like. Well, there has been nothing that I've been excited about.
It's feeling like a very dry year. We'll revisit this topic when we get back to Street Beat later on. But real dry start to the year, and this could be the catalyst. But I suppose we'll see, buddy.
Gibbons, we shall see.
So the only other thing that's released this week is this Nintendo Labo stuff. The Variety Kit and the Robot Kit are both coming out this week. This is, of course, Nintendo's cardboard peripherals for their Switch, which looks really cool. They did some really interesting campaigns in various cities. There was a thing you could go to in London for the kids to kind of get them involved with this. I think this is going to do really, really well, and I think we're going to hear loads about it. I think it's the sort of thing that's going to hit like mainstream news and everything as this thing starts selling and people become kind of aware of it. But obviously, because Nintendo is Nintendo, they've only really done their Nintendo Directs up until this point addressing it. I think it's still under the radar. A lot of people have never heard of this thing at all. So it's going to be really interesting to see where they get organically in terms of coverage for this thing. Are you? No. Just a first. It's a hard no.
That thing will last like 2 minutes in my house, and it'll just get ripped to bits. It's cardboard. Unless it's like fucking super reinforced cardboard that's actually like solid metal, then no.
I suppose that's going to be a concern for a lot of parents, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the whole thing is like, oh, you can download the blueprints and just use any cardboard. I'm like, no. That means I have to go and find a box or cardboard.
You're going to spend the rest of your life in hobbycraft, buddy.
Yeah, no, mate.
Buying various fucking thicknesses of card in different colours.
No, like, you know, someone's gonna make like a full like metal robot suit or whatever it is to go with this. It's gonna look absolutely crazy and insane and amazing, but I'm not that guy. I haven't got that kind of time. I'm not dedicated enough. Like
I suppose with the blueprint nature of it, you could use all manner of different materials, couldn't you?
Of course you can. You could cut like that whole thing is like, oh, you can customize your own one by coloring it in and whatever. It's like, yeah, cool, great, or not You know, I don't know. I can't really see any like longevity in it either. Like it's gonna be, well, for me it would be a gimmick. Like, oh, that was fun, yay.
Yeah, because you're not exactly going to keep making shit all the time, are you?
No.
I mean, once you've done it, then you've done it, haven't you?
Yeah.
And they're quite expensive, these packs.
Yeah, they ain't cheap, buddy. I know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to do well.
I think it will do well because people are stupid.
Well, expect to be hearing a lot about Nintendo Labo in the coming weeks anyway, buddies. There we go. And that is out this week. And now it's time for Fuckwit Corner.
Fuckwit Corner with funk. Fuckwit Corner with funk. He's got some questions. Funk.
Has he got any questions this week, buddy?
Yeah, we got some interesting stuff from the Funk this week, buddy. We get the ball rolling with this. Funk says, yeah. On the subject of Far Cry being Far Cry, in inverted commas, what would they need to do to blow your socks off there? I'm presuming it has upgraded graphics, sound, nice big maps, and this time a co-op mode too. I want it, but I'm not prepared to fork out full price for it. It feels like a £30 kind of game to me, as it's not new as such. Yeah, take it away, buddy, because I'm sure that things are flowing through your head right now. What would they need to do to make it interesting to you?
I don't know, because like the way he puts it kind of like makes sense with video games. Like, it's a franchise, so it's just gonna be a better version of that franchise, and he's absolutely right. Yeah, it's gonna have upgraded graphics, sound, bigger maps, like, you know, and the fact that it's got the co-op in it too, you know, that's like a nice addition. Well, it's a very good addition, to be honest. I don't know. I just think it's because I'm not a massive fan of Far Cry, you know, that I'm just like, meh, not too fussed about it. But I don't know. I guess I don't know what they'd have to do to pull me in. I mean, from what I've heard about it, like, once again, it's another like Wildlands edition where it's more fun with friends, and also if you ignore all cutscenes and turned off all the dialogue, because that's all bollocks. So,
yeah.
I mean, that doesn't fill me with a lot of hope about the game. And yeah, like literally, like all I've heard is that this game is just fun with your friend when you're taking the piss out of it. Like, it's a competent game, and it does Far Cry really well, but it's just, you know, you would have thought that maybe Ubisoft would be a bit better at doing that whole dialogue and telling a story, but I mean, look at their previous games, they haven't really got any better. Watch Dogs 2 was terrible. The Division wasn't great. Other Ubisoft games. Apparently, what was Assassin's Creed was meant to be quite good last year, though, wasn't it? Origins.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah, the whole like story and immersion into the world. And I saw something on Reddit the other day. Like, if you walk about in the desert for too long, you start hallucinating, which is kind of cool.
That is quite cool.
But I don't know. I don't know if they. I don't think they've taken that over to the Far Cry franchise. Maybe that's what they need to do with this, and they need to take a couple of years break and then just be like, right, let's rethink things and go from there with these games.
I think that's fair. Certainly, I would agree with you on the story. I think when you're making a giant open world that's basically the same as the last one, the thing that should really differentiate it is that story. And from what I've heard of the latest Far Cry game, the story is quite poor. It's certainly no better than the previous one or the one before that. Yeah, I think that's a major problem. I think also the fact that all the mechanics are kind of the same is a bit of a problem. There's real issues there. It's not the best. I'm just it's because it's the same thing. I don't know what it is. Like, if you, as Funk said, and as you like correctly highlighted, like GTA, each time a new GTA comes out, like what's different, kind of thing. What changes? It's the answer is not a lot. I suppose they had the gimmick of the 3 different characters, and that worked pretty well. But at the end of the day,
that fucking storyline's awesome.
That's the thing. The story was fantastic in that game. Yeah. And I suppose the location was different as well, but like there's just something about it just feels sterile to me, Far Cry. I think it's a lot of the busy work, a lot of the go here and do this stuff is just not very compelling. Like, let's take GTA 5 as an example. Like, all of the side missions were pretty heavily curated, and that's just something that Far Cry's never really done. And when it's heavily curated, obviously, like that's incredibly difficult to do because of the amount of work that goes into that. And I mean, look at Horizon. Look at the Horizon's side missions. They were as compelling as the main game. The same thing goes for The Witcher. Like they're really interesting side quests. A lot of the time, more interesting than the main storyline. That's something that Far Cry's never done well. It's always just no, go and fucking skin this ox or whatever. Like
catch me some pigs.
Exactly. That's a major problem. I think the fact that they focus on vehicles as well, that I think kind of is a problem for the game
Ubisoft
design.
just don't know how a car drives, I believe.
They certainly don't seem to. No, they certainly don't seem to know how they work. So yeah, it's that for me. It's the fact that there's a lot of things that other open world games are doing better, and yet they keep bringing this game out, and it's the same every time, and they don't seem to really be attempting anything else. I don't know if it's because they just don't understand or they don't know.
Well, they tried Primal, didn't they? Really, that was a kind of stab in the dark.
Yeah, but was that really any different? Like,
I didn't play.
I know
it, so
it was a different era.
Had a spear in it.
I want to play Far Cry because it has co-op, and I want to play it with a friend.
Yeah, and it does look like graphically, it looks really nice.
It is nice.
The gameplay looks kind of cool, and like they've got that weird multiplayer kind of thing in there, which is weird. Like the map creation or game creation or whatever it is. I don't even know where that came from. It's mental. And they've got all the assets from previous Far Cry games as well involved in that.
It's true.
Yeah. So I don't know. Apparently, there's battle royale modes that people have made in that already.
Maybe they don't get enough credit. I don't know. There's just
I don't know.
Just something about it. I'm not really sure.
But like Funk's next point is kind of like poignant to Ubisoft as well, though.
Absolutely. And we've got I've snuck PJ in here as well because they were kind of having a bit of a chat about it. So I think that's kind of fair play. A little special guest star in Fuckwit Corner, the old friendly neighbourhood PJ. Funk says, do you think the way Ghost Recon is being supported is a sign of things to come? Seems like a cheap way to make your game last a lot longer and build a decent community. Even if that community has 800 players like Wild Pants. Does it open it up for the game to get ruined on each update, though? PJ chips in with, guess you have to commit to that model and deal with the issues quickly, as and when they come up. Ubi have done a good job of doing that on Wild Pants, in my opinion. Funk says, aren't you basically handing the game over to your fan base? Those dozy fucknuts could turn it into Fortnite. I'm a little surprised more Fortnite clones haven't appeared already. PJ says, they need to concentrate on making a balanced game rather than listening to the fucknuts who will do anything to win. Game devs are not necessarily known for resisting the consensus, even if it's retarded. And then Funk finishes off with, that's the biggest problem. You make the game the way you want and nobody plays it, you're knackered. And if you concede to the masses, you make a load of shit. So there we go. First point from Funk is, do you think we'll see more games as a service? And the second part
obviously
is, do you think it's detrimental to the game that it keeps changing all the time? Is that really fair on people who jumped in early doors? And can you rely on the feedback from the community to steer the game in the right direction? So firstly, let's talk about games as a service. Yes. Like, everything's going to go games as a service, isn't it? Do you think, buddy?
Yeah. I kind of enjoy the model of games as a service. I think the continued support for like any kind of online game, it should be there. I feel like games should be constantly evolving this day and age. I see it as a good thing. Obviously, yeah. Sometimes they might implement something that's bad. I mean, like with Destiny, there's been all kinds of issues. And then obviously they have to come out and apologize for that and fix it and try again. But you know, the main thing is like you need that community there for the game to give that vital feedback. And then also these companies obviously have like community job roles within their staff where they will be talking with their community, like communicating with them and finding out what are the biggest issues of the game right now, and then feeding that back to the powers that will be, and they'll put it in some sort of order of priority of what needs addressing and what needs looking at. Now, yeah, you go on to say about like the dozy fucknuts and stuff like that. You know, that like they don't know what they want, but that's games as a service, I would say. Like, unfortunately, like these games do have to evolve in some way, shape, or form just to kind of stay relevant, I would say, because you know, if it's just like there's the game and then that's it, then you know you're going to have people play it, and then the drop off rate will be you know higher if you don't continue to evolve your game. Then you know you'll keep people there. I mean, look at Destiny with me. I know I played like a couple of hundred of hours of that game when it first came out, you know, and you know I finally did drop off playing that game. But every time there's like a new announcement or you know a new patch coming out, I'm interested in it and seeing if like that's going to change it and bring me back in. Unfortunately, it hasn't yet. But the fact that they're trying to you know appease their fan base, I think can only be a good thing for the game.
I don't agree at all.
Cool. Okay.
But that's just how I feel. I think everything that you said is like has total merit, and I think that most people would probably agree with you. I would imagine I'm like firmly in the minority here. But I don't agree. I don't agree with games as a service. I don't agree with games being steered by the fan base. It all strikes me as incredibly lazy. It strikes me as lazy in that they can chuck the fucking thing out before it's done, with the excuse that it's a game as a service and it's going to constantly evolve. They can keep working on the same game after it's got stale to try and keep people playing. I think that's detrimental to the evolution of the games industry. It means less games will come out. We're in that situation right now. Ubisoft probably would have released another game this year by now if they weren't still patching Rainbow Six Siege. Like, who gives a fuck about that? I don't understand. I'm used to games coming out on a regular basis and me playing through them and being done with them. And I realise that, you know, they want, you know, to sell cosmetics and keep it as a constantly evolving online ecosystem. But at the end of the fucking day, I ran out of content and I stopped playing. And that maybe is not the case with everyone. I don't want to keep playing. I don't want to be regularly playing 250 hours of a video game. I don't. I want to be playing 40, 50 hours absolute maximum and then fucking off and enjoying something new. I don't want to keep playing the same old shit. I don't want the games to be coming out less often and lasting longer. I think it's boring. And I totally understand from a strategic and business standpoint why you would want to do that, but I don't believe that it benefits the players. I think it stagnates the whole market. I think it's a bad thing. I really do. I also don't agree with.
Yeah, go on.
I don't agree with listening to the community, because I think that game developers have more than enough and games publishers have more than enough, and all of the roles and all of the different positions in these companies, the tastemakers on YouTube, the people, community management systems, there's more than enough data there to put a decent game together in the first place. And half the time I don't believe they're changing it for the better. They're changing it to keep the community interested so they stick around and probably buy more fucking microtransactions,
Obviously,
get more uniforms or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's a good thing either. I think that the game should come out and it should be what you buy. You know, I don't want... If I buy, like, a movie and then, like, on, like, Blu-ray and then, like, a couple of months later that the thing's patched and there's a different fucking ending on it because everyone was like, no, this is bollocks. Like, that guy shouldn't have died in the final fucking scene. I totally think that I'm in the minority here, and I'd love to hear from our listeners as to like what side of the fence they come down on. A lot of this stems from the fact that you have definitely enjoyed games as a service games more than I have. I've kind of, if anything, it's deflected me away. But yeah, that's just kind of how I feel.
Can you not see if like sports franchises, like, they're clearly going to go into some sort of games as a service if they haven't already, though?
I totally, and I'm not saying that it isn't going to happen. Like we said it in the first place with Funk. Totally it's going to happen. But I don't think it's a good thing. I don't want Evo to be games as a service because they'll never do anything to the fucking engine each year.
But isn't that like, you know, like the Ultimate Team and whatever the PES one's called, My Club.
Yeah.
Isn't that really like their version of a games for service? Because they're constantly updating that, bringing new characters in that you can purchase on a weekly basis or whatever. They're doing things like that. Is that not their version of the game for service, do you reckon?
I suppose that particular mode within the game could be considered that, but the Master League changed completely this year. They added a full 3-man co-op thing. Like, the game looks better and runs better and plays differently. Than last year's. And at the end of the day, I have the decision. It's my decision if I want to go out and buy the next PES, even though I know it'll probably only be an incremental step forwards, then I have the power to do that. But I don't want my version of PES right now to be patched and changed. I bought this game. I like this game and I want to play it. And if I want something new or different, then I'll buy something new and different. I don't want my purchases to evolve. I don't want them to change. I want the games to be the games that I bought. Maybe that's an old school outlook, but I just think the more games that go games as a service, I think that progress in the industry, be it graphically or tonally or game modes or content, it will slow. It will slow down. We're already seeing it. It's a cancer on the fucking industry.
If we look at like for example, that Radical Heights that came out yesterday, you know, that is the worst version I could say of a games for service, because that game it's nowhere near ready anything, and they're already putting it out there, making money on it, kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas, you know, if you look at compared to like your AAA games that are going to be like games for services, like, you know, The Division and whatnot, I'm quite happy buying that game because, like you say, like I can just play that and then not give a fuck because I'll get my like 20, 30, 40 hours out of that game and that's done. I haven't got to go back to it. Sure. But I still think the fact that they are continuing to support those games, like if you do suddenly get hooked into it for God knows how many hours, you know, like that option of them, you know, developing that game further is, I think that's a good thing. It's just, I think it's the issue of if a game comes out and it's fucking bollocks to start off with, like Rainbow Six Siege was, you know, then yeah, there's issues with this games as a service because they're just releasing games. Sorry, pardon me. Before they're ready. I think that's the main issue of this games for service thing that I can see anyway.
You look at Battlefront, the original Battlefront comes out, it's got fuck all content in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they just sell they just sell DLC. And that was a problem already, but as soon as they're going with this games as a service model where they're like, oh, we're going to support this game for 3 years. There's going to be a season pass each fucking year. I don't want to
play that in 3 years. Like,
make something else.
Fair dues, if I'm still playing that game in 3 years, fucking that's great news for me. But for a game that like I wanted to play that was finished when it came out, yeah, that's fucking clown shoes.
Exactly. I mean, there's so many games that we've bought over the years, and I've had a modicum of enjoyment out of them, and then I've moved on, and that's how I want it to stay, because that's how the industry progresses. Obviously, it's in the best interests of the publishers that people keep playing games because they've all got the transactions in them now. But it's not good for the player to have less choice, be playing the same fucking game for 300 hours. I don't think that's good.
No, I know what you're saying. Like, yeah. Maybe that is one of the reasons why we're in such a drought right now. I don't know.
It could well be. There's a lot of reasons for the drought. I think that the way that the systems kind of came out in a stunted fashion has a little bit to do with it as well. And the remasters, obviously, we've said before, are like a massive culprit here. But I mean, we would love to hear from you guys, like what you think about this. Obviously, it's very, very rare that we really, really come at something from two different angles, like me and you.
Yeah.
Like we basically completely disagree here.
I don't think we're butting heads as much as you think we are, though.
No,
that's the thing.
I mean, it's a reasonable discussion, but I do think that we probably have opposite opinions here to for the most part. And that doesn't happen that often, really.
No, it doesn't.
It's why we're friends, because we, mostly like the same stuff. So
kind of makes sense.
Yeah, well, hopefully everyone's found that quite interesting. It's really, really good question from Funk, and great stuff chipping in from PJ as well. And yeah, please get in touch and let us know what you think about this. Do you think that it's better that your favourite games are going to be supported for longer and you're going to end up playing them for longer? Would you rather the developers just cut these games loose and moved on to something else for better or worse? You could easily counter my argument with the fucking couple of years we had where everything that came out was completely broken. Look at Warner Brothers, like not supporting Batman, just moving on. The PC version didn't work. Great. They were like, no, fuck it.
Oh, fuck it. That's done.
If I was to be playing devil's advocate, then I can come at it from that angle as well. But,
yeah, true.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So let us know, and thanks very much, Funk and PJ. Every week we end the show with questions and comments sent in by you. If you've got anything for us, just pop an email to the jfgpodcast@gmail.com or contact us on Facebook, Twitter, or at justforgamers.co.uk. And now it's time for JFG Street Beat.
You got a question we want to know. Street Beat. Facebook, Twitter, we're on them all. So hit us up and be on the show. Street Beat. The JFG Street Beat.
Street Beat.
We want to know.
Get on the show.
Get on the show. And our friendly neighbourhood PJ's got on the show, but he's got a couple of quick ones for us to finish the show this week. The first one from him is this. PJ says, is there anything that you are looking forward to gaming-wise over the next few months?
What are the next few months? April, May, June, July.
I think if you look at the release calendar, probably the rest of 2018 is what you want to be looking at.
Okay. Is that because there might be some game that I'm actually looking forward to?
I had a look through the schedule, and I've
got it up now. I'm just flicking through quickly. Go on then. You go for it, and I'll agree or disagree.
Okay. The ones that I've just picked 3 out. It really is slim pickings.
Oh my god, is it that bad?
And they're not they're not even slam dunks either. These 3. I mean, obviously I've got my franchises that I usually buy in terms of racing and football and so on. But that Jurassic World Evolution game, I think that looks really interesting. Cool studio. I'd love to make like a Jurassic Park. I would love to do that. That's really cool. That game's coming out with built from the ground up for both console and PC gamers. So I think the control system should be good. Graphically, it looks cool. Obviously, Jeff Goldblum did all manner of promo for that in the last couple of weeks. Every gaming publication on Earth has interviews with Jeff Goldblum. It looks cool. I like the look of that. That's coming out in June. I did notice City Skylines has hit the sale this week.
Has it? I didn't see that.
But it just further reinforces the fact that I'd quite like some sort of top-down-esque sort of city builder stroke strategy game. So
I think we'd have more fun with Jurassic Park.
You might be right. Yeah, you might be right. Some really cool mechanics in there where you can set the dinosaurs free to catch them and that sort of thing. Like, there are lots of scenario-based stuff. It's pretty cool. Also in June, The Crew 2. I'm not hugely excited about this, but at the same time, this is a multi-vehicle racing game, and so obviously I'm going to be vaguely intrigued by it. The Crew, I thought, was a game that was almost good without ever actually being good, and I think that The Crew 2, you never know, mate. You never know. It could be pretty decent. There's lots of vehicles in there, and they've been working on it for quite a while. Quietly confident that that's going to be something worth picking up. So that'd be on my list. How do you feel about that? Are you in the same boat, or are you
I'm
a bit
not
more skeptical
sold with that? Yeah, I'm definitely skeptical about that game because the Crew was it had a hell of a lot of potential, and then when we played it, I was like, this is ball bags. Yeah. Actual ball bags.
We can certainly agree on that. And as you've said earlier in the show, buddy, Ubisoft just don't know how cars work. They don't know how they drive.
There is that, yeah.
But maybe planes, buddy. Maybe planes and boats.
Maybe planes and boats and jet skis, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Obviously, with that Onrush being... I read a lot about that, and it sounds like it's absolutely not up our street at all. It's barely a racing game. It's more like a sort of arcade takedown game.
Okay.
So I've kind of... The Crew 2 is now flying the flag in terms of a new racing IP this year.
Oh, God.
That I would want to pick up. Yes. Weighs heavily on its shoulders, buddy. But,
I can see.
There we are. The only other one for me, all the way in October, buddy, Red Dead Redemption 2. Obviously, I'm massively looking forward to.
Obviously, yeah. Like, I mean, you've got to be excited about that.
I think so.
You're dead.
Yeah. Redemption. So you've just scanned through. Is there anything you've picked up there, buddy, that you're interested in? Obviously, I'm excited about VR stuff as well. Certainly Blood and Truth if it comes out this year, but still heard nothing about that yet. Hopefully see it at E3. But is there anything that you are liking the look of in there that I haven't mentioned?
Super Bomberman R.
Yeah! That game's reviewed very poorly on the Switch.
I'm sure it'll be bad as well on everything else.
Probably, yeah.
But it might be Bomberman. Sounds good to me.
Gibbons.
Fuck it. There's bollocks. Like, you got your standard Battlefield, whatever it's going to be. Battlefield 2, I think. Is it? I can't remember.
Yeah, World War II one of some description. That could be good, though. I mean, remember Battlefield 1943?
That was a good game.
That was a great game.
Yeah. But it's Battlefield again. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Pokemon on the Switch, if that comes out this year.
Yeah.
I'll be all over that, mate.
Sure thing.
I'll be excited about that. That is actually something I'd get excited about, just because I could play Pokemon, like a new age Pokemon on the Switch. It'd be amazing. And my son would love it, because was it on Netflix? I think Pokemon Sun and Moon series has just gone on Netflix, and he's been watching it all. And I'm like, you bastard. And he's like, yeah, I'm on episode 12, Dad. I'm like, I'm only on 2. Cunt. It's because you don't go to work every day, you bastard.
Talking of TV shows, buddy, I've just started watching from the very beginning Sliders.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With
time travel, innit?
Jerry O'Connell and Jonathan Rhys-Davies. Yeah, it's alternate dimensions of Earth.
Sounds good.
It's so stupid. I'm about halfway through the first season. But yeah. No, Pokemon, I totally understand Pokemon. Very, very cool.
Oh, I forgot a bit of news that I didn't write down, but it's just popped into my brain.
Go on.
Did you see that Pugburger, whoever it is that makes that blue
hole
tards, yeah, they were suing someone for using a frying pan.
Yes, they're trying to sue a South Korean company because they say that the iconic weapon of the frying pan is known in the Pugger brand.
Oh, yeah. No one's ever used that before. Not like Team Fortress or fucking... what was that other game? Some Mario game back in the day. There's loads of them. Like, Reddit was going mad with it. Like, just posting, like, any kind of, like, game that had a frying pan in it.
I just think... Do you know... they're obviously disappointed that they've been overtaken by a rival.
By Fortnite,
But
yeah, obviously.
Do you not just think it's so greedy of them to get shirty at this?
I feel like they've made a lot of money. They're still doing very well.
Brilliantly well.
They're probably getting a shit ton of money from Microsoft.
Yeah. And they've still got a PS4 release to come as well. And
yeah, exactly, where they're going to make even more money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
how greedy and stupid. Like, who the fuck are their lawyers? Some of the fucking stuff that they've submitted, like, as lawsuits, it's just unbelievable. Like, absolutely ridiculously stupid. It's just amazing that a company of that size can do that. I don't know. Honestly, like, the only thing you can do in this sort of situation is keep your mouth shut and keep working on your game. People are playing it, like, hundreds of thousands of people are playing it. Just get on with it.
Yeah, I think it's like third on the Twitch streaming at the moment.
Yeah, that'll do, will it not? You know?
That will fucking
people
do.
People would kill for those sort of statistics.
Exactly.
And the frying pan was in Left 4 Dead anyway. That's fucking ages
Yes,
ago.
it was. Left 4 Dead was in that as well. I think, yeah, that's why it was in Team Fortress 2 as well, because it was like a thing to do with Left 4 Dead as well, yeah.
It was in the game Sleepwalker on the Amiga, a frying pan as a weapon. Mate. They should probably sue those guys.
Fucking cunts.
Ridiculous.
Iconic weapon, frying pan. Fucking retards. Anyway, what were we talking about before? I can't
games
remember.
that you might be looking forward to in the coming months, buddy. Anything else?
Shit all, mate.
Fair play.
God of War. Next week.
Next week, yeah. That'll be good. Hopefully. Or maybe not.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Who knows? Yeah.
So, the final question of the show this week, buddy, before we put this to bed and go and play some games. PJ says this. When is Ash going to jump in on VR? Is he getting a hankering yet?
Yeah, I'd love some VR right now. Kind of got to sell a house and buy a new one and then get out of a bit of debt after doing that. And then I might be able to buy one, buddy. But yeah, on the near future, there are no purchases for me of any shape or size. We shall see.
I mean,
unless
we were talking
it's to
about
do with rambling and then fucking take my money.
We were talking about Xbox earlier, possible purchases. Obviously, 4K TV at some point as well.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
If you weren't selling up the house at the moment, if you were kind of in normal spending mode, are you genuinely enticed by VR, or would it still be sort of not at the top of your list?
It wouldn't be the first thing that I'd buy.
Right.
I'd either buy like a new monitor for my PC or a big old fucking TV, and then work from there, because that's the things I definitely need next, I would say.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I'll keep building that library for you, buddy, for when you do finally jump in.
Cheers, buddy.
Got you 6. So yeah, thanks very much, PJ. So I think that'll about do us, buddy, for episode 158. Thought Thunder. Excellent. It's been a good one. It's been a decent show. Good discussions and shit this week.
It's flown by. I can't believe I thought, fucking no, this is only going to be like an hour long, but no, mate, we've carried it. We've done good. I've got through pretty much nearly all my beers, which isn't good.
Yeah,
I got to the shed.
I've got a beer and a half left. For some
dangerous
games at this point. What are we going to play now, I wonder?
Not a fucking clue, mate. Games are shit at the moment. I just don't know. I had another situation again where I was just, games, what do I play? I think that's why I couldn't really be asked this week, because I was a bit sleepy and I was like, I can't even think about what to play.
Gibbons.
Meh. I don't know, mate. Pez, maybe. Why not?
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
Easy, innit?
We'll see which friends of the podcast happen to be online when we hear.
We'll see who's online, if anyone's about. Yeah.
Well, that'll do us, I think. Only really remains for me to say that you can find us on a selection of different websites and social media platforms. So let's get the ball rolling on that, shall we? Firstly, our website, of course, beautiful as it is, www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk, where you can also submit your questions for JFG Street Beat buddies, and we'll be sure to read those out. So get stuck in on that. We've got our Facebook, of course, which is the JFG Podcast. Our Twitter handle is at the JFG Podcast. We're also on a selection of video streaming sites, namely TubeTube, twitch.tv/the JFG Podcast, and mixer.com, aka beam.fucking-pro, buddies. There it was. Come and join our PS4 community, of course, the JFG Podcast. We're on SoundCloud, /Just for Gamers, if you want to listen to an episode from several thousand, million, trillion, billion numbers years ago. We're on there, of course. Discord, come and join our Discord. You can find the link to that on our website. And we are also on Google+, if that is how you choose to live your life. Thanks so much for listening, buddies. We'll catch you next time. Until then, I've been Alex. He has been Ash.
Goodbye.
Farewell. You've been listening to the JFG Podcast with Ash and me, Alex. To find out more, head to www.justforgamers.co.uk, Facebook /the JFG Podcast, or Twitter, where we are at the JFG Podcast. Episodes go live every Sunday, and if you could pop onto iTunes and write us a quick review, we would love every inch of you, even if you got old and fat. Thanks so much for listening, and we will catch you next time.